Good morning, good morning, good morning. What you doing, Bogey? Oh, kitty, kitty. This is my Bogey. My kitty, kitty, kitty cat. Yeah. Say hi, everybody. Hello, everyone. Don't play with the camera. Nobody wants to see your cat butt. Here. Here's your chair. Take a nap. Good morning, Christian. I don't have a Christopher Watts update to do. I'm sorry. Good morning, Cement Shoes. Maybe what life is like in prison for him. I could possibly do something about that. I don't have anything prepared for that. Morning, Kevin, Rylan. Been here so long. Carla. Kathy, hello from Texas. Hello, Kathy. Oh, thank you. That's Bogey. We rescued him. A friend of ours actually found him in a tree. Then nobody. We put ads all over town. Nobody claimed him. So he's ours. Got him fixed and all his shots and everything else. And he's a member of the family. Good morning, Blue Mermaid. How was my birthday? My birthday was good, I guess. Didn't do anything. There's nothing in my state you can do. You can't go out anywhere. So everything's closed. So you still can't eat in a restaurant. You can't go to a bar or to a nightclub or anything. I don't know if you can see that truck back there. Those are succulents. And for everybody who was commenting in the last video that they thought that this is a really cool fake plant, it's not fake. These are real plants. Good morning, faithful one. Beautiful cat. He is. My wife says he's kind of an asshole, but he's my cat. He's a kitten. He's just up to no good, trying to figure his way in life. Morning, Brandy. Casey Love, hi from New York. Hope everything in New York is going well for you. I ate hash browns again. It's been a while. Cement shoes only if it's about the shower mishap that went very wrong. Please look into the missing soldier case at Fort Hood. Skeletal remains were found last night. Not sure if it was her. Oh, damn. I really hope it wasn't her. I haven't heard anything about that. Write it down, though. Peggy, good morning from North Carolina. Good morning. Gayla Denson. Dennison. Good morning. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Nothing open in New York either. You guys are in phase 2. Well, the county where I live in the Washington State, they applied for to go to phase 2, and the governor and the health department said, "Oh hell no," because we're seeing the second largest spike right now. I think in the last 2 weeks they've had something like 3,800 people in my county. It's a pretty big county, miles wise, and stuff like that. But we had 3,800 new cases. So it's going to be a while before we get to that point. So sorry I missed your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, Debbie. Appreciate it. I only posted it in the community tab and told everybody about happy Juneteenth and happy birthday to me, because I was sick and tired of being called a racist, and I was like, you know what, here's something else for you to hate me for. So it's the only reason why I even posted it. I'm far from a racist. All cats are PFCs, Vanessa Gillian. Our numbers are way down. A lot of people don't like Como, but he brought us almost to 0. Yeah. I know a lot of people who live in New York City, and they live in upstate New York. And most people may not agree with what, with or like Cuomo, but they agree that he did the best he could. Mel, what's up? Good morning, Mel. You've been called a racist and a communist because you're a veteran, Kathy. I'm sorry that ever happened to you. I offer 2 t-shirt designs, and that's what started the whole thing. It was all I was trying to do was just post an update for all those who have been waiting to buy the shirt. And there were so many people who kept on messaging me week after week after week. When are you going to offer it again? When are you going to offer it again? So I decided to offer the t-shirt again, and wow, people just went off the freaking rail. I think I deleted probably 100 different comments. I was reported to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Who else was I reported to? Oh, Teespring. Because the t-shirt says, protect and serve. Our lives matter. Thin blue line. And the shirts, I've been selling them for almost 7 months now. And that, and another one that says bork bork nom nom. And the half the proceeds from each of those shirts goes to the community outreach of different police departments across the United States. I put a reply this morning about it. I'm never going to be embarrassed, nor am I going to offer an apology for supporting my brothers and sisters who were in law enforcement. You okay, Cat? Got a hairball, huh? Sorry about that, everyone. If you guys can hear him clearing his cat throat. I used to watch Como every night. LOL. Missed a comment that went flying by. I think he's great. Mel. Coffee and 401. Good morning, Matthew. F them. Yeah. They say that because the t-shirt said, to answer your question, why am I being called a racist, Blue Mermaid? is because the T-shirt supports law enforcement officers, and that and it says that their lives matter, as opposed to if you say that first responders' lives matter or anyone's life matters more than Black Lives Matter. They're calling you a racist, and all they're trying to do is they were trying and they were trying to shut me down and silence me for putting out the T-shirts. And I'm like, I never said that Black lives didn't matter. I just said that law enforcement officers' lives matter. I mean, there's 300,000 law enforcement officers in the United States who are on the streets, and 172,000 of them, somewhere in there, are officers of color. So more than half. Do their lives not matter? So they said that I'm a racist for saying that. And yeah, F them. How's it going? Night, Thyroid. Is it going well? Hope all okay, dude. It's going good here. Because you're a patriotic American who supports law enforcement and the military. Nothing wrong with that, Kathy. I had a T-shirt before that said it was in support of first responders. Nobody wanted to buy that one. I offered this one about law enforcement, and I've sold I think 109 of the shirts now. Either 109 or 111 shirts. I keep half, and the other half that goes to different community, the police department community outreaches. And what do officers do with the community outreach? Well, in a lot of areas, they use it for in emergency situations where maybe they show up at a house because they were called for a welfare check there, because and they find that there's not enough food in the house for the children who are there. So they may use that money in the community fund to buy, emergency food for the mom and dad to feed their kids, to get them through until their next paycheck or their next, benefits check comes in. They may use it to replace the bicycle for a child who had his bicycle stolen. And in a lot of situations, they use the money to buy something as simple as a teddy bear. For when they show up at a domestic violence situation where children are involved, something to give to the child to comfort them during this time of crisis in their lives. And I mean, it all goes to good things. It's not like going to buy new bullets, more bullets for the cops. It's going to help the police, help the community, and do little things like that. That's what they do. Gayla, I did see that you did buy the shirts. Thank you very much. Good morning, Queen C. Yeah, I don't think they understand it either. I think it's Carla. I think it's more of a catchphrase. They want to incite as much turmoil as they can, and if they can label you as a racist, it's a lot easier than having to say, you know what, I just don't agree with the shirt. You don't like the shirt, don't buy the shirt. We don't like the theme behind it, don't buy it. But it clearly says that what it's for. The message isn't hidden. Oh, Jesus. There's a whole bunch of comments I missed. Some people are hating cops. I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and some of my family and friends are against me. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Gayla. I've got a lot of brothers and sisters, and friends who are law enforcement, and I mean that literally. I have friends and family who are still in law enforcement, and then I also have family members who are retired, who spent their entire careers in law enforcement. And I don't understand why we have to hate the entire, thing, like the entire, word I'm looking for here. profession. We have to hate the entire profession over a few bad apples. Still here. Good morning. My 6-string soldiers post was removed from Facebook. Was it, Kathy? I'm sorry. No, not all cops are personally responsible for what's going on. This is absolutely true. Dorothy C., good morning. My son wants to go to college for criminal justice, and you're afraid to encourage it. You know, and Dorothy, I will say in answer to your question, your post, I mean, is that is an ongoing issue that has plagued a lot of police departments across the United States. I was talking with my friend just the other day, who is the second in command of the street crimes division in his department, and they've had 10 positions that have been open now for 3 years. They cannot find qualified applicants to even send to the academy to take the position. And if we defund them and we take money away from the police department, who is going to come in and take those positions then? No one. That's the answer. He can't fill the positions down. But to not encourage your child to go into criminal justice, I don't know, what to do there. I would think you encourage your son, to pursue a higher education. If he decides that he wants to go into criminal justice and become a law enforcement officer, let him do that. If that's really where he feels his he wants to be, and where he feels that he can be the best for society. Encourage it. Don't discourage it. LE, Blue Mermaid, LE stands for law enforcement, or LEO, LEO is law enforcement officer. Will, that's like saying sorry to your mom died. Mine did too. Your house burnt down. Lots of houses burnt down. Black Lives Matter is just justifying that they matter, not that others' lives doesn't. That's not the message I'm getting, though. But and Casey, I'm telling you, from my side of it right now, the people who have been messaging me and who have tried to and have filed complaints against every social media outlet I'm on, they have filed it and said that by having that on T-shirts and promoting it on those platforms, that I am saying that their skin color and that I am racist against their skin color because it says that law enforcement officers' lives matter. That's the message, and I've read every one of them. Well, I mean, yeah, sure, maybe Black Lives Matter is not trying to say that as a message as a whole, but that's the message that has been sent to me and to every one of my social media presences. I don't understand it. Maybe they're just a small faction of them who are trying to stir up, the mud. I don't understand it at all. Because I never said that their lives didn't matter. And if you want to go to my community tab, you can actually see the link to the office. What started this entire thing was an officer, I believe he was in Louisiana, who was executed in his squad car. And that's what started the entire thing. That's why I started I made the T-shirts the first by 7 months ago. Well, almost 7 months now, because today's the 20th. I think it happened like the 23rd in December. I'd like to see what happens if the police go on strike. A total strike. I don't want to see that happen. How was the wedding, Queen C? It was very, very good. There was probably about 25 people there. As much as we could, we tried to space everybody out, for social distancing. So, it's like we had a row of seats I think there were six seats, and we put one person in every other seat, and then an empty row, and then 6 people, and we did that on both sides. So we tried to do as much social distancing as we could. But they're finally married. They were engaged between their engagement and dating, 9 years. But it was a good wedding. NB Canada supporting your channel. Hang in there. You have great relevant television to speak the truth, ignore the haters, and keep the faith. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate it. And good morning, Karen. Good morning, Pink Camo. I didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Not much I can do. I basically hung out with my son, and then during the afternoon he played in the backyard for a while, and then he decided he wanted to go swimming in his little swimming pool. I got him a swimming pool. It looks like a giant watermelon. Really cool. But he loves to he'll just go in there and he'll stand in it. And then he'll pick things up and throw them in the water, and it's kind of like, ah. But he has fun at it. Good morning, Cece. This world would be out of control without law enforcement. It would. I wouldn't want it to be one without it. Well, thank you for the super chat, Karen. I appreciate that. Very proud to say I support the police and the military. Same here. Thank you for the super chat, Blue Mermaid. Appreciate it. Outreach also give neighborhood barbecues and so much more, so much fun. Yeah, there is a lot more that they do with the funds. I was just giving an example of some of the ways that different communities use the community resource fund that they have. I've seen it. One law enforcement agency. I think they were in, I want to say Mobile, Alabama, or someplace. It was in Alabama, but they actually a gentleman who had been walking 3 miles back and 3 miles to work and 3 miles back, so 6 miles each way, back and forth, and then he would work all day long and then walk the 3 miles home. They helped him fix his car with the community fund, so he could do it. But he had been doing it for so long that made such a world of change in his life, which helped him uplift and be able to, be more mobile. So his family actually lifted up, and they were able to, once he got a car, he was able to get a better home and provide a better, school for his children, all because they helped him fix his car that he could not afford to fix on his own. And they did that with the community outreach fund. Jamie, good morning. Your grandson took 2 Purple Hearts in Germany? Wow. All doctors are not responsible for Howard Shipman and Anthony Garcia. That's true. Morning, Tammy. Sorry, I'm still trying to catch up with the stream here with the comments. And yeah, I understand. I'm not saying that racism is not real in the world, but I'm the last person anybody should ever say is a racist. I grew up after my father died, my mother married probably one of the largest, supporters of the Aryan nation. He ran guns and weapons for them. And I had to live with that asshole in my life, in my formative years. And I was like, when she married him, I was like, why does this guy hate people so much? And it turns out it was just pure ignorance. He didn't trust them. He didn't know anything about them. The asshole, we'd go on vacations and he wouldn't pull into a parking lot if he saw someone of another color or ethnicity. You think the families of police officers, they also have a family? Do they want to go to a time when criminals have more rights than police officers? I don't know. Rogue ticking time bomb. All the cops should not have held responsible for his actions. Boils down to, yeah. Good morning, Michelle. I have a mixed son, so I have to worry about my son more than a white mom with a white son. Sorry. Well, I hope he never has to go through it either, Queen C. Good morning, Hillary Jane. Good afternoon. Should have brought my glasses out here, but I didn't. Starfire 3, good morning. There are plenty of officers, in law enforcement, who are African American, Hispanic, and Native American. Officers of, other skin colors besides white. Yeah, it's absolutely true. And right now in Sacramento, Gailey, your niece and nephew are on duty in Sacramento. I hope that that they stay safe. Jamie's channel. Hello, Will. Good morning. How is your son doing? He is doing great. With being out of school, not so much there. He misses his friends. Doesn't get to see them. A couple of them he gets to, whenever we can. We try to do Zoom, but it's not the same for a child his age. They just kind of, to him, it's just like it might as well be television. Let's see. Your autistic daughter has had a rough time, but is getting better. Swimming is her favorite. Yeah. Well, I was saying that my son, that's all he did yesterday was he kind of stood in the pool. Didn't, and it was, I gave him a whole little bucket of, I think it's like 15 golf balls in it. So he'll sit there and he'll throw them in the water, and then he'll reach under the water and grab them and do it again. And then sometimes he'll just, splash around in the pool, like a little madman. And nut is what I call him. But hey, he really enjoys the hell out of it. But he's doing good for the most part. I have got an entire. They gave me a entire like summer program that I can do with him for at home to make sure that he works through everything from hand-eye coordination, finer motor skills, alphabet numbers, colors, and then practicing cutting with scissors, for hand-eye coordination. But they sent me an entire packet. It's 4 weeks of different activities that I can do with them. So we're looking forward to that. Good morning, Ginger Anderson. How are you doing this morning, sweetheart? Morning, Jamie. That's cool, Gayla. You have to give kids bicycles for Christmas. My friend who works for the next city over, they donated 250 bicycles to the Boys and Girls Club over the past 3 years. And the Boys and Girls Club then handed them out to everyone. But nobody sees it as well that these bicycles came from local law enforcement, because the Boys and Girls Club had put together the list of children who were in need, who actually needed a bicycle, who their parents couldn't afford one. But even though their name was on the banner for the giveaway, people don't see it that way. But that's really cool that you guys got to do that for Christmas. A lot of times children at Christmas don't get anything at all, and it's a special time of year, and they deserve to have something. Just because they're poor doesn't mean that they shouldn't have something themselves. Now, thank you, Jamie. Diana, good morning. No, I don't think Mel. I don't think anybody is saying that what happened to George Floyd was okay. There wasn't a single officer or anyone who's ever said that was okay, or it was it's horrific that it happened, and the officer who actually committed the crime itself should pay, and he shouldn't get any special treatment. Debbie, good morning. I support law enforcement. Daughters graduated in criminal justice, and I'm very proud of her. Thank you for supporting them all. Well, you're welcome, Debbie, and thank you for your daughters going into law enforcement. I hope you are doing well, Debbie. I'm going to write that one down, Queen C. The movie is called The Hate You Give. I can't promise that I'll be able to watch it anytime soon, but good morning, Julie. I think it's Blue Mermaid, to answer your question, and what are the plans for U.S. children returning to school? I think it depends upon the state, and then from there it breaks down to each community and what is going on within the community in positive testings and outbreaks. If they, if it's died off, they may be, getting back to school. I know for my son, for him, they are shooting for a return in fall with certain steps put in place where for smaller classrooms. I mean, they're only in his classroom because he's pre-K. In his classroom, there are only, I think, 8 students in his class. I'd have to look at his little yearbook that they made online. They made a digital yearbook, but there's 8 students and 4 teachers in the classroom. But since my son is what they call special needs because he's autistic, there is 4 teachers in the classroom. There's your normal teacher, then there's the speech therapy teacher, and then in his classroom, then they have an assistant, and they have another assistant. So there's 4 teachers and 8 students, or 12 kids, or 12 people total in the classroom. But they are talking about, instead of it being 8, dropping it down to a maximum of 6 students and 1 less teacher's assistant in there. So it'd be 6 students and 3 actual 2 teachers and 1 assistant. But they really don't know what they're going to do, because especially in my area where I'm at, right where I live, we haven't seen a decline in the COVID positives. We've seen a spike in it. So, and unless that level starts to level out here soon, they don't think that they're going to be able to make it back for fall. All right, Mel, I'll tell you. All right, so here in the United States, we have dollar stores. I don't know if they have them in Australia or not, but I'm going to draw a really crude picture. All right. I'm talking about the scissors, not anything else. Mel, put that thought away, Mel. Okay. Damn it, it ain't gonna work. Well, if you can see this or not. So this is my terrible drawing of a pair of scissors. So you have your, where your finger holes, go into the scissors here, like this. But they have scissors, especially for anybody out there who has a young child like mine, who has autism or has disabilities that where their hand-eye coordination is not the best. They make a pair of scissors, and you can buy these even at the dollar store. You can buy them on Amazon, but they're just like a regular pair of scissors, but there is a spring in the middle right here. And what it does, so when they cut down on a piece of paper with a pair of scissors, what it does is that spring is in there, then forces the scissors back open. So when they cut, it then forces their hand back open, so it helps them learn that coordination of cutting. So whereas a normal pair of scissors, you cut, and then you have to use the muscle strength to move it back open, and which is a lot harder coordination-wise to figure out how to do. When they cut something with the pair of scissors, it has a spring in there. It's kind of like a U shape. What it does is it then flexes it back open. Really cool. And it's really helped my son, especially in learning to cut and follow along on the dotted lines, because he'll make a cut and then it forces it back open, and then he can move it forward, cut. It's a great idea. Rather see kiddos get sick, and how the health goes everyone else before just throwing my son back in the fire, and numbers need to go down. I agree with that, Queen C. I'm in the same boat right now. It's like I want my son to go back to school. I want him to have that. He needs that interaction, especially since he's autistic. he really has a lot of problems with social cues and with learning that he need, not especially more than a child, other children his age. He doesn't get the the cues that follow along in a story time or singing or just things where everybody takes turns doing things. He doesn't. He that's all just an oblivious to him, But that we were starting to make progress, and then school got shut down. And he really needs these things. And right now, everywhere he would go outside of school for it, like speech therapy, that we had him in a private, seeing a private speech therapist once a week. But all that's gone. All the places where he would go and have interactions with other children his age, gone. You can't go to a playground where, in my area where there's we call them big toys, jungle gyms, whatever you want to call them, that they're all closed. The parks are closed completely. You can go take them to, a big grassy, area and let them run around. And trust me, I do. I let him wear himself out. He's fast. Jesus, he's fast. Either that or I got really slow over the years. So, inflatable water slides. I've seen a couple of them at the store, Starfire 3. I was at the store the other day looking for the floaty thingies to go on your arms and blow up. I was looking for those the other day, and just about every one of the stores are sold out of them. But I wanted to get him some of those, so when he goes over to my friend's house, who has an in-ground pool, just to be on the safe side. I would feel better as a parent if I had those along with other precautions, obviously, that I'll be taking. But he doesn't quite understand, like, oh, look, the pool just goes and then bloop, it drops off. He just keeps on walking around the water and then bloop, and then he's like, ah. And I'm teaching him how to swim. It's just, would much rather, feel a little bit safer having the arm floaty things. But I saw the slides, and they had one that was like a slide, and it had, palm trees, and then like a little pool at the bottom of it. I never had anything like that when I was a kid. The other thing I couldn't find is a slip and slide. I'm sure they still make them. I just couldn't find them. When you're left-handed, it's hard. My son is actually right now, he's pretty ambidextrous. He doesn't have more of a dominant right or left hand at this point. That could change. I mean, I'm not going to make him right-handed or left-handed over one or the other, but cutting with scissors when you have issues with hand-eye coordination is hard. Left-handed, even I guess, would be hard as well. Let's see here. So the numbers are going dangerously up. 2,950 cases in one day. Quincy. Oh, Jesus. Sounds like here. Arizona is being very ignorant, going into bars and clubs and stuff. Yeah. And we ain't got none of that here. And a lot of the places that were open for to-go orders only, they're not able to make it anymore. I was just reading in the paper this morning that several local restaurants and bars and establishments they've been trying to struggle by just to do to-go orders to bring some cash in. They can't. They're not going to be able to survive. They're closing up for good. It's sad. And a lot of small businesses, especially mom and pop and medium-sized businesses, are not going to be able to make it through this. And especially since where I'm at, we're still in phase 1, and we are the application to move to stage 2 has been postponed indefinitely. Excuse me. Kids are visiting their parents in jail. You took pictures and still look at them. That's cool. I know my friend's daughter was in jail, and they wouldn't allow them in more than to be on one side of the plexiglass because of the COVID. Everybody had to be on the other side of a plexiglass where she was. You're welcome, Kathy. Keep it real. You had to learn both. My teacher was a donkey. Anna Nelson, good morning from Sweden. It was disgraceful what happened. They needed to do more psych evaluations on all police during their service time, no matter what color they are. You want to, if anybody has time out there and really wants to watch and listen to a really good podcast episode on where we should take law enforcement from here on out, is Joe Rogan. Either agree with his political ideology or not, but he had Jocko Wilkins on the other day on his podcast, or maybe it was a couple of days ago. And Jocko Wilkins is a former Navy SEAL who now teaches MMA and law enforcement tactics on how to restrain an individual without using chokeholds or whatever, excessive forces. And it's a really good podcast episode. It really puts the light of what really should be happening out there. Instead of defunding, we need to put more funding into police to eliminate those who are out there within the system right now who are not necessarily doing a bad job, but who need to either be stopped before something happens. No, he never should have. It was totally unnecessary and tragic. You're absolutely right, Gayla. Morning, Bluebell. Yeah, there was a time in the world where they believed being left-handed, was not a good thing. Good morning, Rain Dancer. SEN teachers' assistants are much underrated. In one class, I had 24 out of 28 students with special needs. Wow. I hope you had a lot of assistants to help you with that. That's a lot of students for one teacher. Your town is talking about all online anyways, or all distance learning. Yeah. Well, that's the next option, Queen C. If we can't get back to school, they're going to hold everything by online. For the last part of the school year, that's all we, once a week on Thursdays is how we did my son's schooling was by Zoom meetings. We would get his, they broke it down into 4 parts. First part was just basic, it was him and his teacher doing the alphabet, letters, numbers, colors, stuff like that. And then his speech therapist through school was trying to work with him on pronunciation, recognition of letters, and then how to pronounce them. And then, like beat, butt, ball, stuff like that. And then the other parts were broken down for, I don't want to say that it was pointless. The other two parts were pointless, but it's just really hard to teach and get he needed the last two parts. They had to be in person, but trying to do it through a Zoom where the teacher was showing it and then I was supposed to be able to express it to him. It didn't really work out all that well. Some things you just can't learn by over the computer. You have to learn them in person. Michelle P. We've been super lucky and have not one case of the virus here. Wow, you are extremely lucky. Soccer mom of one, good morning. It is, Anna. It is horrendous and is very scary for everyone. Matthew Burgess, I'm in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm staying indoors. Rain Dancers in Seattle, Tacoma area. What? I had no idea. No, I knew you. So much going on up there. Yeah. We're not required, but it's suggested and encouraged. Carrie, do you pronounce it Delson or Delison? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I only go out to the grocery store and the doctor, and you're in Cali? Yeah, well, I only go to the grocery store and then I go golfing. And when I'm out on the golf course, there is nobody within 6 feet of you anywhere. And we finally got the golf courses open back up, which I don't understand. Talk about the outdoor activity. I mean, next to hiking, I guess, or fishing. What other outdoor activity would you be to have the most social distancing with? Florida is epic now with COVID-19. Was spring break worth it for the kids? Yeah, I watched it a little blip about that. It came across my news feed on Facebook about the outbreak of new cases from spring break, and then all those kids went back home to their states. It's the same thing, and we're going to probably see a spike in a couple weeks here. So with the rallies for the president, and then people social gathering in large groups to protest. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. You have that that constitutional right to do it, to protest and and do all that and have your voice heard. But not everybody in those rallies was taking precautions. Kids have so much energy, don't they? Heck yeah, Michelle. I wish I could bottle like just a tiny bit of my son's energy. That boy is go from the moment he wakes up until he goes to sleep at night. Yeah, I wish I could just bottle just a little bit of that. I don't have enough energy. No matter how I can be having the best day. I'll still never be able to keep up with them. They might just go from going in public to weekly groceries and to see your girlfriend. You're required by the governor to wear masks, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people where I'm at don't. They're not wearing masks. They're not taking any precautions. I was at the grocery store the other day and I watched a guy come in not wearing a mask. And he just walked over and grabbed a cart, or a trolley, as those over the pond, the pond would say, or down under, I guess, probably the same thing. But a trolley, he walked in, grabbed the trolley, and just went on his business. And I'm like, I would never touch a trolley without cleaning it. And they have a station right there where you can, with the Lysol wipes, where you can, wipe them off, clean it off. No care in the world. Ooh, it's 101 there today, 105 tomorrow. Carrie, Jesus. Today here where I'm at, it's supposed to be 89. By Wednesday of next week, it's supposed to be 103. So we're not quite as hot as you, and I hope it doesn't get there, but it will, because I'm in a semi-desert. Look online on Amazon for a slip and slide, Queen C. Yeah, I wasn't really necessarily thinking about buying one. I just didn't see one. I don't know if I can get my son to actually understand it. I'm pretty sure if I set up a slip and slide, I'm pretty sure my son would just throw dirt on it. And it's that way it makes mud. And he likes mud. It's one of his favorite words to tell me. Good morning, Linda. Well, good morning, Linda. I hope you were doing well this morning. Sorry I didn't get to catch the second part of your stream yesterday. I was a little bit busy. You won't do business with Walmart? Right now, you couldn't get me to go into a big box store. Spending all my money trying to help small, medium-sized businesses survive. Because right now, they're the ones that need it more than ever. They can't get open to, and where I'm at, mom and pop small stores can't open. But Walmart, Target, super centers, they can all open. But you can't get the small mom and pop hardware stores or anything to open right now. I don't know why the rules are any different, but they are, at least where I'm at. We sure are living in horrific times, all of us. Yeah, Anna, right now, if somebody told you, what 2020 was going to be like, you would swear that they were describing a Stephen King novel, not what the real life events of the year it would have been like. I feel most of the U.S. is being ignorant. It's embarrassing. Oh yeah, definitely, Carrie. And it's ignorance and misinformation. A lot of misinformation out there. I was talking last week after, so I'm also, and not only do I golf on the weekends, but I golf on Mondays in a golf league. And afterwards, we usually gather and we have afterwards and have a beer or, a glass of wine or whatever. And we turn in our scorecards. And we social distance. We're not like all crammed into an area. We're outside, and we're no more than 3 people at a 6-foot table. So we'll have 3 people here, 3 people here, 3 people there, 3 people there. But we do what we can for social distancing. And we're sitting there, and COVID came up, and we're sitting there talking about COVID, and it was surprising just how much misinformation was out there. And I could spend the rest of my life trying to tell these people and inform them of, what's going on, and what's true and what's not. They're set in their ways. They don't believe it. They heard it on this channel or read it in this paper or this person who's a really good friend of theirs told them, so they believe it. A lot of that going on right now. Trying to find that. Thank you, Julie, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I didn't see that earlier. I saw it come up at the top, but I'm trying to find it. I'm so far behind in the stream right now, and I'm really sorry if I missed anybody's comments. My son had a swimming lesson, so I go off what he learned, and he's a pretty good swimmer anyways. Outdoors is the best. Yeah, I'm thinking about, when I was a kid, I never had floaties or any of this stuff when I was taught to swim. And of course, I was taught to swim in the Mississippi River, where they just picked you up by your arms and legs and tossed you in. And you're like, you either sink, swim, or drown. I mean, you had two options: either drown or you got your ass back to shore. But I'm pretty sure somebody would have tried to save me. But I found a way to, doggy kick and probably swallowed a couple of gallons of water. But I made it back to shore. Nose itches. I got the COVID. Don't want that again. Also, common sense. Yeah. The director of the Maine CDC said it's best. This is not science fiction. This is science fact. Yeah. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's comments. I've been going up and down through this thing, trying to make sure that I didn't miss anybody or your comments. If I missed your comment, or if anybody joined in the last little bit here, I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to ignore you or your comment. I was just I start talking and I stop reading, and then keeping up with the comments, and then it just goes by. I'm still here. Do I have long-lasting stuff from COVID? Well, right now, Queen C, to answer your question, the only thing that my doctor says that is going to be a long-lasting is, right now I still have somewhat diminished lung capacity. Symptomology wise, other than that, no, I don't have any other symptomology from COVID. But I do hear that some people have developed more intense, I guess would be the best way to put it, rheumatoid arthritis. I think that's or we'll just say arthritis. I don't know if it's rheumatoid arthritis. For some reason, that's what popped in my head, but I'm not sure if that's the right one. Well, thank you, Michelle. I'm trying to do the best I can. It's all I really can do. I think floaties are good with a high level activity to kids, but I really try to keep the kids to feel their bodies in the water, to relax. I'm in a pool and then 5 only. My son, the scariest part about him being in the pool is he likes to just lay down in the pool. So he has a kiddie pool here at home. I mean, it's probably only water depth wise, maybe 7 inches of water. But he likes to just lay down with his head on the edge of on the top of the pool, and with his back, towards the bottom of the pool. He really enjoys doing that. Rebecca Miles, thank you for your Saturday morning show. I enjoy it. Thank you very much, Rebecca. And Margaret. Accidentally blocked probs with this PS since I got the pH covered. Sorry. Well, Matthew, no one is more happy that I've recovered from it than my wife and me. But thank you. Lost video. Oh no, the video's still here. I can't be on camera when I'm smoking. I'm still here. YouTube, and for anybody out there who has a friend who's a creator of a channel who smokes cigarettes or may do reviews of either wine or other alcohols or tobacco products, even cigars, you better get your butt over to the YouTube new guidelines and rules on it. They just changed it again for the third time in 12 months on June 6th. But I'm still here. Julie Canerco, that's what my dad did. Then I became an Olympic swimmer, went 1972 Olympic trials, 12 years old. It was my dad's dream, not mine. Wow. That's a high level of intensity. But I do know a couple of kids who are like that, though, where it was the dream of the parents. They were living vicariously through their children. I know a kid who made it all the way to he was on the Minnesota Twins World Series baseball team, and he never really wanted to play baseball after high school, but it was his dad's dream to see him play in the professionals. Okay, I'm still here, but that reminds me, I've got a couple things to show people. All right, for all, I was talking about this the other day. Well, not the other day, in a past live stream. So that was, I didn't do one last weekend, but the week before. For all my friends out there in Minnesota, I was talking about my memorabilia for the Minnesota Twins. So that's the original Homer hanky from 1991. And I got this little container of, these are all the concerts that I've been to over the years. I've saved them all in these little things, like all the little stubs from different tickets. And you probably can't see that, but that is my World Series ticket stub from the Minnesota Twins from the Metrodome. So I've got all kinds of, these are just concert tickets. With that in movies and off-Broadway plays, Circus Olay. Picture of my daughter. I don't know why that's in here, but it is. See, Spin Doctors back in the day. Blues Festival, where I got to see George Clinton and the Psychedelics and Buddy Guy. Black Happy, and most people haven't heard of Black Happy, but you should. A 13-piece brass band. It was kind of like ska punk metal, music. Fiddler on the Roof. Long Beach Riptide, minor league baseball team. Whoa. Monsters of Rock. Another picture of my daughter. Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings. Vikings. Got a lot of those. These are all, oops. pre-decimal coins. I've been to a lot of concerts over the years. No, and some of these I don't. They don't tell you really, you know, like those little stub here. This one just says that I went to a show called the G-Force. 13 bands. I paid $193 for the ticket, not counting Ticketmaster's freaking fee. Pre-decimal coins. I don't know what that is, Blue Mermaid. Like, I would have to guess at that. There's Mike. All hail and merciful Allah. Good morning, Red Rum. Lisa 54. Good morning. Scrolling up, trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Good morning and happy Saturday. Happy morning. Good morning to you and happy Saturday to you too, Red Rum. I hope you are doing well. Lisa 54, I hope you are doing well as also. Love a shirt. Yeah. I used to be a people person, but stupid people ruined it for me. It's true. Wow. Am I the only creator this will affect big time? No smoking and drinking. There goes her stream. A lot of people. A lot. That's why I was trying to abide by the old rules, not being on camera. But now they've made it. They changed the rules so not only can they demonetize the video, they changed the rules so they can demonetize the channel if you get more than 3 complaints for violating the tobacco or alcohol policies. And there are entire channels out there. My friend Scott has a cigar channel where all they do is they talk about cigars and they review cigars from around the world. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to survive after this? The change in policies. Other channels, what is it? There's one from Ireland. It's like Irish people who they sample different alcohol and tobacco, and not tobacco, but alcohols and stuff like that from around the world. And that's all they do on their channel is to explore different bottled spirits from around the world. That's 100% of their content. And between Scott's channel and that channel, we're talking what 30 million subscribers between the two. What are they going to do? Sit here and just look at a camera and not actually show the item itself? Because that's what they got to do now. Will, I downloaded some games on my daughter's tablet that are really helped her accelerate with sounding out letters. Single mini games is the name, and also Endless Reader. That's cool, Jamie. One of my son's favorite songs. You can also find it on YouTube as well. Is see, sound, and sign. So see it, sound it out, and then sign it. The 3 of them together. Because we really have been working with my son with sign language because he can't communicate in his normal, because he's he's delayed in speech right now where he should be. So, we sign everything to him. Not only do we say it, but we sign it as well. Like I love you. We say it and sign it at the same time. Water. William. where, all kinds of things throughout the day. So he learning the two of them together. But on YouTube also, there is simple songs, which are basically nursery rhymes and letters that he's been doing. But I will definitely look into that, Jamie. Endless Reader. I'm sorry, I'm trying. All right, so Chris 35. Good morning and welcome to the stream. Kimmy Monster, welcome. Janelle Keen, hello. Welcome to the stream. Debbie Light, good morning. Oh. I was always on a diet, 55 and 99 pounds, broke 33 national records from age 5 to 15, then a full ride to the university. So I was so sick of my father. Went as far as I could, him at Texas A&M. Yeah, my friend's son, he never realized just how much his son really never wanted to play baseball anymore until it was too late. And his son actually he blew out his arm, but he could have come back from it, but he was like, nope, done. Finally, I'm done, Dad. And when he finally told his dad, look, I'm doing it. I'm going to live the rest of my life for me. I think he's a high school teacher now. Well, at least the last time I heard from him, he was. Kayla said that was cool. Duct Tape Bandit, welcome. Tattoo Parlor, I got a tattoo the other day. Had an autographed drumstick by Pete Best. I was shook. That's cool as hell. Duct Tape Bandit. Doing good. I need that shirt. Are those shirts on sale? No, Kathy, Drew. I've had this shirt probably 10 years. Baby Doll Love hello from Ontario, Canada. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. You always wanted to see the Dave Matthews Band in the Gorge? Yeah, quite a few of those tickets are from the Gorge. It's where I saw like the George Clinton and the Psychedelics and Buddy Guy. It's the first time I saw Buddy Guy. I never even heard of Buddy Guy until I went there that day. The Gorge has changed a lot. I don't know when the last time you were there, Rain Dancer, but it's definitely changed a lot over the years. I started going there when it was just a bowl, and then they put in grass, and then they had the camping there. So we used to camp there, and then it was just like, go in, sit down wherever the hell you want. Now they got a VIP section and chain link, and and they section it all off because they got to make money. What the heck? Demonetize the heck? Why even have YouTube? But do what you mean by what do you mean by demonetize, Julie? Okay. So being monetized means that you're able to earn a very small portion of revenue from ads that run on videos. There's certain things you have to do, like you have to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours within 12 months. Then you have to apply to the Google AdSense and be accepted into the program. I think that's it basically because becoming monetized. And then you can earn revenue on the actual ads. Along with that, once you become monetized, you have the ability to receive super chat. And I'm trying to get to this one as well. Thank you very much for the super chat. I'll get to it in just a second. But that's monetization. What they were doing is if you violate the rules 3 times, they can pull the monetization from the entire channel, and then you have to apply to appeal to get monetization back. On an individual video that you make or a live stream like this, they can demonetize it and say, okay, you are not allowed to earn revenue from your actual work. But thank you anyways, because we're going to make money on drawing people into the platform to make money for us because we're YouTube. So you can't get anything. So they can demonetize an actual video or a live stream after the fact in where people would watch it and rewind. Julie from Dr. Molkowski, MD, Fax Abu Agu Mensa. Thank you for the super chat, Julie. Sorry, but I don't understand what that means. So I'm really sorry, but thank you though, from Dr. Molkowski. Will, did you like the Raged Bone band, man? Yeah, actually I did, Kimmy Monster. I did. Suck Mom near Salt Street, Murray. I'm in Niagara on the lake. That's cool. We'll check out the band Root Boo Slim and the Sex Change Band. It's an interesting name for a band. Kathy, he did a local DC band. I listened to it before I joined the Army. Root Boo Slim. I'm thinking that's like the head guy. And then the band is a Sex Change Band. Interesting name. I will definitely check it out later on. Hopefully there's something on YouTube. Thank you for giving us your time. Well, you're welcome, Jamie, and I really appreciate you being here. Drama must remain on the stage. Hi, 411. Haven't been here in a while. Welcome back. Drama must remain on stage. On the stage. Thank you for being here. Ragbone Man. Another fan. You know, great channels for sure, Kimmy Monster. Oh, I didn't know Cece wasn't feeling well. I hope you're feeling better, Cece. I didn't know she wasn't feeling well. Oh, you're crocheting. I'll tell you a short little story, Kimmy Monster, about crocheting. So, almost 4 months ago now, I paid to have a runner done for. I have an antique bureau in the house that got passed down from my great-great-grandparents to my grandparents and to then my dad and then to me. That's how old this bureau is. And it's about a little bit over 5 feet in length. So it's longer than this table behind me, but not very wide. And it's made out of mahogany. And to protect the top of it, I've always had a runner on top of it, and then we normally just have picture frames on and stuff that are sitting on top of it. but I wanted a runner made. And a lady that we know who sells crocheting and box stitch and stuff like that on Etsy. She was here at the house, and I asked her, I go, how much would you charge to make a runner in just white for this? And she quoted me a price of $100. I said, I don't think that's enough. I go, I think it's more, worth more than that, your time and the work, that you're gonna have to put into this. And she said, well, how much do you want to pay? I said, how about we start with 150? That cover, and I'll cover on top of that, I'll cover the cost of all the yarn. And I said, if you're doing it in cross stitch, I'd like to have it done in alpaca yarn and it for it. And she's like, sure. So she wanted half of it up front, plus I covered the cost of the actual yarn itself. So I bought all the skeins for her. I took her to the store. We bought all the skeins and everything else. 4 months. She vanished. I don't know what the hell's going on with her. Don't know. You going to golf next, Janelle? Yes. To answer your question, yes. I am golfing next. Well, no. It's only 9 o'clock here. So after this, next thing is breakfast. I have to go make breakfast for my family because it's my turn. It's my Saturday to make breakfast. Kimmy Monster, have you thought about putting your work on Etsy? Check into Etsy. I mean, that's where I go to find smaller independent crafters. Julie, same thing for you or anybody else out there who loves to crochet. You can't buy quality things like that anymore anywhere. So you go onto like Etsy and places like that where people can actually make what you want. Well, how do I get a hold of you, Kimmy? I can't send you measurements if I don't know how to get a hold of you. Don't post it in the comments here before you do anything like that. Kimmy wants, you do leather work? Do you do book bindings? Stuff like that? Because we have another friend who does doesn't. I mean, let's use this as an example, but he buys not like the 3-ring binders like this, but they're the paper, but they already have the rubber cement on the edge of the paper, and then he makes like a leather binding for them with a strap, so kind of like a journal, and then he has like what do they call them, thing he puts on there and you hit it with a hammer. Is that like a stamp? But he does that with little designs around the edges and stuff. Really cool. That's one of the things with this stupid COVID is a lot of like we have like a Renaissance fair and a humongous like outdoor market during the Renaissance fair. We call it the Sidewalk of Art, where independent crafters from around the state and other states come and they sell their wares. A white alpaca runner. Esty is awesome, Carrie. It is. I absolutely love Esty. I've never had an issue with anything that I've ever bought on Esty. Well, that's not entirely true. My wife bought a bunch of tie-dye little man underwears. We had a problem with that. The lady kept on. I think it was more of a communication error because of a barrier with what we wanted and what she understood, because English was her second language. So instead of tie-dyeing the entire underwear, she was just tie-dyeing the actual waistband itself. But we finally got through to her, and she made it right for us. And bye, Janelle. You do collars and chainmail. Ooh, Kimmy Monster. If you do something like that, that'd be cool as hell. My daughter is doing chainmail right now. I would never have the patience to do anything like that. Wendy Claire, you can't crochet? I can knit. My grandmother taught me how to knit. My grandmother also taught me how to sew and iron. My dad's mom. So I can do all of it. I can do a whole lot more than just sew a button on a shirt. My grandmother showed me how to not only how to set up a sewing machine and how to use a sewing machine. She showed me how to use a serger and and how to hem a pair of slacks, how to and how to make a shirt all the way from a pattern on. You have to have steady hands for chainmail. Oh, I've been watching my daughter do it. It's insane. She's actually making a chainmail vest for cosplay of it's copper or brass. Yeah, it's copper because the brass is too hard to bend into the circles. Oh yes, Dee, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Thank you, Blue Mermaid. Father's Day is tomorrow here in the States. Tuck Foster in the Maserettes. Is that a name of an artist? Rain dancer? Tuck Foster? What is chainmail thing? Well, besides Wendy, the letter that you send in the mail, or add $1 and then send it on to these people, that's chain mail, but it's different kind of chain mail. Medieval armor, I guess would be the best way to put it. That's probably not going to local ban over by you. I want to write it down. Tucker Foster. And Mazer. All right, I will check them out. Rain dancer. Along with Root, Boot Slim, and the Sex Change Band. We'll find out report back once I've listened to them. Dee Duncan, 411. My grandfather taught me how to reload bullets. With my family, when I was younger, never got into, at least not that I know of. When I was younger, I never watched anybody actually reload. But I'm pretty sure that my grandfather probably did. I know from my dad, he wasn't much of a hunter. He was more of a fisherman. So the two of us, we used to go fishing all the time. But I have to keep in mind, my father passed away when I was 10 years old, and then my mother married a series of even giant losers after that. But and they never did anything with me, nor did I want to be around them. I have a lot of somewhere around here I have a 5-gallon bucket of brass 223. I used to reload my own. Then the place where I used to buy all the primers and everything else went out of business, and I know I can get it online from through gun brokers or quite a few other different places online. I just it was a time and a place for it, and right now it just doesn't fit my schedule to be able to do it. It's relaxing though. Julie's 2 daughters live in Seattle. It's hard to buy gifts for people who already have everything they need. LOL. You can reload, Wendy? That's cool. We use to play Moses Lake and Soap Lake? You used to play Moses Lake and Soap Lake what? I missed something there. Brain dancer. Red Ruby Sky. Oh, wow. Well, you're an educated man if you know how to sew and use a serger. I don't know. I never thought of it that way. It's just something that, everybody had to learn. We came from a farming community where, you couldn't, if you got a rip in it, in your, trousers or, your work, clothing, you didn't just go down to Walmart and buy a new one. I don't know why anybody would anyways, but you just don't do that. You made do with what you had, and you had to know how to use it. So that's what, that was just life. It's very relaxing. Oh yeah. I used to have the press and the dies and everything else for it. I don't have it anymore. Got rid of it a long time ago, along with my bow. I used to be really into bow hunting and hunting every year with my buddies, but that kind of went to the wayside as people got married and they moved on, and other people dropped out of the group of friends. That's your ex's band. Okay. I hope my content about the game wasn't offensive in any way. I know some parents really stay away from screen time. Jamie, no, God, no. No, sweetheart, you didn't offend me at all. I really enjoy it, and I wrote it down. I'm gonna definitely look into Endless Reader. But if we have to work together as parents, especially parents of autistic children. We want the best for our little ones, and why not? Why not work together to better their lives? If we can do something at home that they really enjoy and they can learn from, do it. Will, what's your favorite sport event? I know you like golf. Well, I Julie, to answer your question, I love to play golf. I hate watching it on television. But my favorite sport is baseball. And that's what really sucks about this COVID, because normally I wouldn't have been here, this entire month from basically the 1st of June to the end of June. Every year, I travel the United States watching minor league baseball games. That's what I do. I really enjoy minor league baseball because, those kids are out there busting their asses every day. They never take a day off. They never just phone it in. They have the hopes and the dreams still someday to make it to the majors. And I got to, at the same time, I get to spend time in small communities across the United States and meet some of the greatest people you'll ever meet in your life. But COVID ended it all. It's all gone. No minor league baseball. If any minor league baseball survives, it's surviving in a small fraction. Will it come back next year? Yeah, I hope so. But you agree? Your husband lost most of his guns in a boating accident. Oh, Jesus. Why the hell was all of his guns on a boat? Or maybe he only had a couple to lose on a boat. I've got, I'm not going to say how many, but let's just say I have more than one gun safe in the house. I miss baseball. You play third, Kimmy Monster? That is cool. COVID did end a lot of things, didn't it? Because it did. My son's favorite game right now is the sing along of shapes. First it starts off, triangle has 3 sides. Triangle has 3 corners. He loves it's like a nursery rhyme song, that sings about different shapes. So it goes triangle, square, circle, and rectangle, or is it no? It's triangle, rectangle, square, circle. But that's his favorite game right now. He loves to do it. So along with it, he'll actually took a piece of cardboard and I cut out the actual shapes themselves, and then I laminated them. So and then before I laminated them, the outer edges of each one I went over with a black marker, so it actually shows more definition. In the corners I put red dots, so he can actually learn. Okay, the rectangle has 4 corners, so there's a red dot and 4 corners. You can count them. You'll count the red dots along with it. Gayla Denson makes her many bang bangs. Bang bangs and boom booms. My daughter's is moving parts. My parents are avid gun collectors. I wouldn't say that I'm an avid gun collector. I've inherited a large collection between my father and my grandfather, plus what I already had myself. And there was a time and a place where you could, someone who is a law-abiding citizen could buy and exchange rifles online on Facebook Marketplace. You could do it back then. Not anymore. You can't do it at all anymore. Not legally. At least not in this state where I live. You can't do anything even remotely. You can't even sell a box of 223s online anymore. As an independent person, on Facebook Marketplace. You can sell the dies and the reloading equipment and the brass. You can do all that. But you can't do any of the other stuff anymore. You can't. I mean, I've sold and exchanged handguns, rifles, all the state where I live and out of state. Not anymore. They CC and are not going to be robbed if they can help it. Yeah. Well, that's really good to know. Teaching him the shapes. Never lose hope. Never lose hope. Welcome to the stream. Never lose hope. Is this your first time here? Never lose hope. I mean, I see you over on CC's stream, but sorry if I'm just not. Red Ruby Sky. I know I was raised on a farm too. I know how it was to know how to take care of yourself. It's great to know how to take care of yourself. It is. Absolutely. Yeah, Puyallup. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was at the Puyallup. No, maybe at the gun show I'm thinking of that was up there. Rain Dancer it was around the time of the Puyallup Fair, but I don't think it was actually part of the actual fair itself. I mean, but I know that you used to be able to go to the show there and actually you can see displays. Happy belated birthday. Thank you, Levon. Appreciate it. Levon. Sorry. Now they tell us what to do with all of our property soon. Oh, wait, they already do. A husband is in the militia to be prepared. Well, Dee Dee Dugan, tell your husband thank you. Nothing wrong with being prepared. Not during the fair. No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't during the fair itself, but it was somewhere up there. I mean, I used to go to one that was in Tacoma, but it was about, I want to say a quarter mile from Tacoma Mall. It was really close to it, but it was just like a gun show. You could go in, you could set up a table, and they rented spots. Like, I think it was $15 for a spot where you could put up a table, and you could, sell and trade, rifles and handguns. I never saw any criminals show up to buy anything. Odd, because they can buy them on the street a heck of a lot cheaper. Just counting every day things help. How many sweets do you have? How many pieces of fruit, etc.? Blue Mermaid, yes. I did that with my son with grapes and oranges. They're oranges, but they're the cutie oranges. He loves those because he can actually peel the orange itself, by himself, which is, actually helps with his hand-eye coordination and Dexterity. So he can actually peel those little, cutie oranges. They're really easy to peel in case you don't know what they are. But and then I take grapes and I cut them up, and as I'm cutting them, he'll count with me how many pieces there are, how many grapes I'm cutting up for his snacks. My son doesn't get junk food, except for every once in a while, he gets pudding. He likes the chocolate pudding. I think he wears more of it on his face and actually makes it into his mouth. We are teaching our kids how to track animals. My husband is a hunter and a trapper, and I grow a garden. That's cool, Michelle. I really dropped the ball on my garden this year. I did. We normally have a really impressive, garden, but I've got a good amount in storage, jarred and freeze dried, but I really didn't do a lot with the garden this year. We'll end up with a lot of blackberries here shortly, and we have honeybees, so I'll probably end up with, from the hives that are here at my house, I'm guessing probably close to five or six quarts from the 2 hive boxes here. I just added new boxes and frames to them this year, so I don't really want to take too much from them. I want to wait for them to develop the hive boxes, a little bit more. But we have other hive boxes too. So who killed Jeffrey Epstein? Anyone have an idea? Yeah. It was people who didn't want him to expose the rich and powerful out there, who he was about to roll over on. Pick any other inmate, who likes money, who's in the same jail that he was in. And wait a minute, Epstein committed suicide. Dun-dun-dun. Bye, Julie. Thank you again. Glad you could stop by today. I'll be contacting you for some ideas when my Gracie May gets here. She has autism. I'm going to do the best and have a great day. Yes, please do contact me, Julie. Yep. You want to do bees, Michelle? If you got garden space, even if you're inside the city, and I know you're obviously probably not, but you're probably more of a rural, I guess. But I mean, you can have beehives even in the city. I have friends who live in New York City who have beehives on the top of their apartment complexes that they live in. Bees are very resilient. They will find food, and even if you can't, you can also give them sugar water, and they'll find supplement their food. Let's see. I wonder, Epstein was such a freak. He was. Trade honey for a runner? No. Sorry, Kimmy. Most of the honey that we actually harvest, we keep a couple of jars for quarts for ourselves, And then the rest of the honey that we from our other hives that we have around the state goes to an individual who he makes mead. And then the wax we actually sell itself, but we sell at the farmer's market. Well, my mother-in-law sells it for us at the farmer's market to mainly the people who are making either candles or soaps. But it's a good idea, though. Now my husband is a longtime viewer of yours, he says. Well, I'm glad that he is. DD. There's Dardine Creek. Good morning. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Yes, I've been watching beekeeping videos for a while. It's exciting. I hope to start next summer. Just not ready for it this year. Well, it's the wrong time of the year to do it anyways. But Michelle, you can buy the bees online and UPS will ship them right to your door live with the queen. You'll have a queen in there, and you'll have the workers and everything else all in 1 second. I'll show you how it comes. All right. This is how they come from UPS. In a box like this. It's got metal on it, and there's a screen mesh on the outside of it. That's how it comes from UPS. And then the top, obviously I gotta pick it back up. So the top comes off of it. There's this, try not to, all right, you can see this screw here. There's a screw there, screw here. That comes off, and then the queen is inside, and she's separated, held in a little thing by herself, in a little cage that's inside of there. And what they do is they put candy in between her and the workers, and the workers are trying to eat in through that candy. You know, it's food to them, but they try to eat through that candy to get to her, to get her out. But that's how it comes, just like that. And this is basically a nuke box, yes. But that's how they come in the mail from UPS. Well, I got that one just this past year. But you can also go on to Facebook, depending upon where you are, and you can find a lot of different bee communities in your area, and they can help you with buying supplies, boxes, and stuff like that. But if you're anywhere in the Midwest, the company we prefer and we buy all of our boxes through is called Man Lake, MANLAKE. Man Lake. They're from Minnesota. But there's nothing wrong with buying used ones. But you can start off with a nuke like that, and you depending on how adventurous you want to get to it. If you make friends with people within the bee community, which I would start with that, along with watching YouTube videos. And they can help you. You can maybe convince somebody who already has a bee suit and the head mesh, or you can buy it all yourself online, and the gloves. And they could, but if you don't have the money to put up to start that, you can find somebody who will say, look, I can come out and do it, or help you out, and they'll show up with their equipment and then help you get the bees out of the nuke into your actual hive box. We've done it, Man Lake. Yep. We have done a lot of, at least in our community. We've got hives all over the state. Here in my yard, we have 2. And then we have 2 outside of the city limits that are next to an alfalfa farm, because the bees love alfalfa, so the honey is more flavored with alfalfa. And then we have other bees that are near a garlic farm on the other town away. There's a garlic farm, and we have hives there. We used to have them in northern Idaho as well, but they got mites, and it pretty much killed off the entire hives that were up there. That, and we had my wife's aunt, who's not the brightest individual, was wondering, ooh, it got really cold out in one winter when they were up there, and she went up there and popped the lid off the hive to see how they were doing, not realizing what she had done was she exposed them to all, and all the heat from the hive had gone out of it. And then when she closed it back up, she basically froze them all to death during the time that they were open. You love bees, Queen C? It'd be hard for humans to exist on Earth without bees. People don't realize just how much they pollinate and they help society. Oh, by the way, I'm not the beekeeper. My wife is the beekeeper. I'm just the laborer. It's her business license. I just do everything. My wife's business is called Rude Cat Apiaries. So, Will, what is your info on tons of crickets at my house? You have tons of crickets. You want to get rid of them, or do you want to sell them? Well, I don't know anything about crickets as in raising them. I used to. I know how they killed off all my poison crickets killed off all my frogs. I know they're good for fishing bait. Amazing how many people mix up wasps and bees. Yeah, my neighbor had a swarm in their pine tree. And the guy thought that they were wasps. I'm like, no, buddy, that's a swarm. That's a wild swarm of bees. And he's like, well, how can you tell? And I'm like, well, first off, I can tell just by the size of them that they're bees and not wasps. He was going to go to the store and buy wasp killer and stand below them and spray them, which is the dumbest thing to do, even for wasps. To spray them like that, stand underneath it. It was probably about 25 feet up in a pine tree. He was going to stand there with spray and spray them. I'm like, a lot of people out there, I know it's dumb, but they do things like that anyways. It seems to be a good amount of crickets. My husband's family are farmers that they had bees brought in to pollinate their orchards. Yeah, we get a lot of calls, especially within our bee community gala, people who want us to bring bees in. But a lot of the people in our community of bee farmers, we're more into for the honey and stuff like that. We're not a commercial operation. There are a lot of commercial operations where they bring bees around from state to state. We know a guy locally here who brings bees from Washington State all the way down to not San Diego, but it's just outside of San Diego somewhere. But it's 3/4 the way down into California for blueberries, and then he brings the bees back up, here to Washington, because blueberries. There's not a lot of blueberries on the eastern side of the state where I live. West side of the state, there's blueberries over there. I got blueberries here. My bees don't really like them all that much. Because they're where my hives are. I've got raspberry bushes that are huge that are on both sides of each hive. So there's 2 giant hives, 3 stack, and then I've got raspberry hive, raspberries. They really like the raspberries, and it's like the crickets last night was nuts, like a ton of them. You can eat them, make them, you can catch them, and then put barbecue shake seasoning on them, put them in little packages and sell them. I don't know. I know people turn crickets into cricket flour apparently it's supposed to be very high in protein. I would be worried about how to get the legs out of your teeth. We don't have much of a problem with crickets around here. I think the only thing that you can really do about crickets is birds, seagulls. Make something. You got to think about the predator. What eats a cricket? And then, support the predatory animal that would hunt, off of the crickets. That'd be my guess. I wouldn't know how to get rid of them. But no, Queen. See, I did. I watched something. I think it was on Diners, Drives, and Dives with Guy Fieri, or it was one of those shows on the Food Network where they were talking about cricket flour, and somebody was. I think they made pizza, or maybe it was in the flour of instead of they took so much of the baking flour out and substituted it for cricket flour. You can spray a hose over them. Well, I'm sure they don't like that. When I was a kid, we had a wasp problem. My stepfather waited till dark and then put it in a microwave and killed them all. Who? That's ambitious. A really good wasp killer that a lot of people people will go out and they'll spend $6, $7 for a bottle of wasp spray. Get a spray bottle, and fill it with the fluid that you would use for charcoal, for your charcoal grill. Works the same, and it's a fraction of the price. And it doesn't take much. And if you think it's more flammable than wasp spray, you got it coming, because wasp spray is basically, I think, isopropyl alcohol and something else is in there. And all it's doing is once it gets onto the wasp, it kills them on contact. Because of that, they can't breathe. But I'm not an expert at it. I know I worked for a landscaping company at one point, and that's what they used to use was charcoal fluid. They put in bottles and pump sprayer, and that killed them. They just drop right on the ground, dead. You canceled your cable, Gayla? I watch it. I don't have cable. I watch it on YouTube. My Food Network shows. What I miss is shows that I'm never going to get new ones of, like Anthony Bourdain's, show. I loved watching Anthony Bourdain, but I'm never going to get any new episodes of Anthony Bourdain since, well, he's dead. Will smoke them to sleep? Yeah. Will, I'd have to ask the HOA, so I gotta get past HOA. Oh, well, good luck with that, Queen C. When we were buying we bought this house that I live in now. So we've been in this house now a little over 2 years. When we were shopping around for a new home, quite a few homes that I looked at that I actually really liked, either the location, or I liked the location in the house or something along that line. But if it was in an HOA, I absolutely refused. I would not buy a house in another HOA. I have had nightmarish problems with HOAs. And not necessarily with the HOA boards. It was people who lived in the HOA who were there. Well, I've been here in the HOA, since it started, and I've been on the board for X many years. I can do what the hell I want. You can't, because you're new. I will never live in another HOA because of situations like that. That and the last HOA that I lived in wouldn't allow me to put up a flagpole in my front yard. We were not allowed to display put up a flagpole on our property, but they flew them at the clubhouse, but not in your front yard. Not even on Independence Day or for special holidays. You weren't even allowed to have one that you could put on a post in your front yard or on the side of the garage. Nothing. That was their rules. Oh my, your daughter's moving to an HOA? Have your daughter read over the rules before she buys in that HOA. You would be surprised. We couldn't put, there were so many things that we couldn't do. I mean, obviously you can't paint your house any color you want. That was, that's like the general rule for a lot of HOAs. You have to upkeep your yard. The grass has to be cut to a certain, expected level. You can't have leaves on the ground. Everything so you're paying for someone to keep it up all the time. There is no, I'll wait until Sunday to cut the lawn. No, if it needs to be cut on Thursday, you cut that damn lawn on Thursday. No noise, no cars that look junky. And a lot of these are basic rules of a lot of HOAs, at least ones that I've lived in. Now I've owned 2 condos in HOAs over my lifetime and 2 houses in an HOA, and I'll never do it again. If I want to fly, see, like Gala, I was just about to get to that. If I out in front of my house, I have the American flag and I have my thin blue line flag out in front of my house. If I want to put those up, that's my damn business. I am doing it respectfully. I have them on a light that turns on at night, so they're always illuminated. My business, my property, my money. I'm not going to, some HOA and tell me, you know what, we like the way you're doing everything with your house, but you can't put a flag up because you're patriotic. I'll never do that again. Sorry for going off there, but yeah, definitely read the rules of the HOA before you ever buy another and move into an HOA. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for today. I have to get going. It is 10 o'clock here. I have to go make breakfast now. Yeah, you need to vent. Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you, everyone, for understanding. You're getting your own land. Oh, that'd be so cool. That's always been my dream, is to get 5 or 6 acres outside of town, build my own home. Maria, didn't see you earlier. Thank you for being here today. But everyone, have a great day today, and stay safe. And I will see you all hopefully soon. I will not be doing any streams tonight or this weekend, but stay safe out there. And Gayla and Dee Dee, stand your ground. You're absolutely right. Take care, everyone.